Hello, Alexers. We're excited to be back this Sunday with another cold shower. This one should serve as both a wake-up call to some of you, as well as the light that shines your path forward. You're going to find answers to questions you didn't know you had, but for that, you need to put your feelings aside and act like a big boy or girl and be honest with what's actually happening in your life. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Fundamentally, and this shouldn't come as a shock, poor people are bad at making and keeping money, otherwise they wouldn't be poor. What better way to tackle this issue than to actually give you guys the cheat sheet to what money making is all about? Here are 15 things poor people don't know about making money, in the same Alux fashion you've grown to know and love. Number 1. You can pay little to no money in taxes if you start a business. This should be common knowledge to almost anyone, but just to make sure we're going to say it once again. Businesses do not pay taxes on income. They pay taxes on what's left after you subtract expenses, money they're able to generate. If you spend the money the business generated on goods and services that benefit the business, you will not pay taxes at all. The more business expenses you have, the less amount of money is left to be taxed. That's why people spend millions on private jets. It's a business expense because it allows you to meet with clients. The private jet is a deductible, so is the jet fuel, meals with clients in restaurants, traveling for work, and so on. This is a fundamental difference between businesses and individuals. To illustrate it in the simplest way possible, business makes money, spends money, then gets taxed on what's left. Individual earns money, gets taxed on that money, and spends what's left. The average American pays somewhere around 27% in income tax, while in Europe it's closer to 50%. Meanwhile, the average corporation pays between 0 and 3% in taxes. Number 2. Making money is about system solving, not working hard. You make money when you're able to solve and put together all the pieces in the puzzle. The only way poor people know how to make money is to work for it, exchanging time and effort and someone else paying you for it. The only value comes from your ability to create a chain of systems that transform input into money. Here's what we mean by that in a simple way. Poor people earn money by being the salesperson at a lemonade stand. The owner of the stand is paying you by hour. In this case, you're just a piece of the puzzle. The lemonade stand owner has the following pieces. 1. Identify the product or service, in our case, lemonade. It's the good that gets exchanged for money at the end of the chain. Now let's see what happens before the sale of lemonade. 2. You have the stand where the lemonade is sold at, but the fresh lemonade doesn't sell itself, so you have to bring in someone else. 3. The person who's selling the lemonade. Now that you think about it, this person needs to receive the ingredients. In our case, cups, lemons, water, and sugar, and so on. 4. Transport of the ingredients to the lemonade stand, as well as 5. The actual ingredients that need to be purchased from what is called a supplier. To put this process in business terms, supplier, distribution, process, sales, consumer. See how the lemonade seller is only a piece of the puzzle, while the owner needs to think about all of these elements. As a rule of thumb, the employee gets $1 for every $10 of value they're able to generate for the owner. The reward for solving the process is a lot bigger than being a wheel in the machine. The moment you're able to solve the puzzle of processes, you can begin to take full advantage of the marketplace, which will make you more money, if not rich. Number 3. Make money while you sleep or you'll never be rich. Listen and listen very carefully. As long as you're trading time for money, you'll never be rich. Why? Because there's a limited number of hours in a day that you can trade. Even if you traded all of them, you would still hit an earning wall. Your ability to generate income should not be tied to you. Don't be the machine that makes money. Build the machine that makes money for you. This is why the previous point of solving the system is so damn important. Unless you take back control of your time, you'll always be poor. 8 hours of your day, you're asleep. 8 hours a day you spend at work. 2 hours get wasted in traffic going to and from work, and you're left with 6 hours in a day to eat, do chores, invest in yourself, figure out who you are, date, and have a romantic life. There's realistically not enough time for all of them, so what do people do? They sacrifice some of these without realizing that they're actually the things that make life worth living. You're not just here to wake up, go to work, pay your bills until one day you die. Number 4. It takes the same amount of effort to make $50,000 as it does for $1 million. This one will get most people confused. We can almost hear all the heads tilting and your inner voice going, huh? What? Wait a minute. It took us over 5 years to understand this concept because it felt so disconnected from where we were sitting in the earlier days. A mentor of ours gave us the following compliment and advice. Wow, congratulations on the effort, quality, and amount of work you're putting in. It's a shame you're focused on the wrong thing. Once you're able to solve the puzzles, might as well try to solve the ones with the bigger rewards. What's the point of working as hard for a fraction of the reward? It took us 3 years to find a different puzzle, and 2 more before we were able to solve it, but the reward was definitely worth it. Here's how it applies to you. If you're earning $2,000 a month selling telecom subscriptions over the phone, you could earn over $20,000 a month by selling cars or real estate. The process is quite similar, but the rewards greater. Pushing this example further, that same person could earn over $100,000 a month selling stocks on Wall Street. The sales process is the same, but your focus isn't right. Number 5. Ideas are worthless without extended execution. Can y'all please stop with the $1 million idea that you have? How long have we been saying this here at Alux? An idea is worth $1 million only after it made $1 million. Everybody has ideas. You can stop anyone on the street and they'll be able to vomit 1 or 2 business ideas that they think are worth quite a fortune. Please pay attention for what we're about to tell you and change the way you think about ideas for as long as you live. An idea is a multiplier to your execution. Even if you have a killer idea that's worth a 100 times multiplier, if your execution is 0, do the math. 0 times 100 is 0. Your ability to execute is multiplied by the quality of your idea, which means take any mediocre idea and simply execute better on it. That is how you win. That's why Google crushed Yahoo. Facebook crushed MySpace. That's why TikTok won where Vine failed. That's why McDonald's won over the other burger franchises at the time. That's why Starbucks is still winning the coffee game. Making coffee with milk isn't an $85 billion idea, but the puzzle they've been able to solve and plan they've been able to execute on the way is. Success comes from being able to execute at a high level for extended periods of time. And please, do not neglect the extended periods of time part. It's really important. Number 6. Instead of cutting down costs, focus on increasing income. Poor people cut coupons. They spend hours figuring out ways to save a couple of pennies. You know another of our favorite sayings, a penny saved isn't a penny earned, it's just a penny. It doesn't matter if you're worth $1,000 an hour or $750. Why are you wasting 2 hours of your life driving to 3 different supermarkets just to save $10 on some detergent? The return on your time is whack. We deeply despise from the bottom of our hearts the people that spend their efforts trying to cut down personal costs when that time could go toward increasing income. If you're earning $750 an hour and you have time to go to 3 supermarkets, you've got time to learn Microsoft Excel here on YouTube and find a different job that pays 3 times that amount. Instead of wasting time cutting costs, invest that time into becoming more valuable. Why? Because there's always a limit to how much you can cut costs, but there's never a limit to how much you can earn. Number 7. $100 in passive income is worth more than $1,000 of worked income. This is something counterintuitive to most people, and we're glad to get the opportunity to finally address it and maybe lighten the path forward. The average person looks at our comparison and scoffs right away. How can $1,000 be worth less than $100? Well, here's why. That $1,000 is dependent on you being able to show up, to perform, to secure clients, etc. While the 100 isn't. That 100 will come in no matter what you do. What happens if you get hit by a car or get sick and your ability to perform goes away? Passive income also frees up your life. Ready to have your mind blown? $40,000 per year in passive income is worth more than $200,000 a year with a normal job. A $200,000 per year job will require your time, effort, and attention at least 5 days a week. You know you'd be working weekends as well in some form or another. It also chains you to a desk, to a location, to a country, to an office. For $200,000, you'd be stressed the hell out and have to put up with a shitty boss. With $40,000 per year, you could live almost anywhere in the world and have 100% of the time to yourself. Want to learn tango? Sure. Want to raise bees in the wilderness? More power to ya. Maybe write that book you've been planning to do or spend as much time as you want with your kids. Passive income revenue is multiplied in value by the time it frees up. If with the $200,000 job, you had 10 hours a week to spend with your family. With passive income, those 10 hours daily you don't waste at the office or in transit grants you an extra 50 hours per week, and we didn't even include the time during the weekends. In this example, the passive income grants you 5 times more free time to focus on the things you love, which is why $40,000 in passive income is worth more than a $200,000 a year job. Number 8. Over 50% of your income should go toward investments. You cannot escape the rat race if you're saving 5 or 10%. You just can't. You might be able to have enough funds to overcome a hurdle, but that's not enough to buy yourself freedom. Want to hear something that's going to blow your mind away? Last year, we saved or invested between 80 to 90% of our income. And you know what? We did similar numbers the year before and the year before that. We're probably going to do the same thing this year and the one following. We're not alone in this. Almost everyone in our circle saves and invests at least 60% of their income. This is freedom money. This money buys real estate, buys stocks, goes towards other business investments. The truth is, poor people have no way of saving this much of their income because their income barely covers their basic needs. The problem is, they completely disregard everything else we mentioned earlier on this list. The moment you begin to increase your income, don't act stupid and increase your lifestyle dramatically. It all boils down to simple math. Do you want to know how much money you should be making to be free? First of all, you need to know how much does it cost you to be alive with your current lifestyle. We'll call this lifestyle cost. In order to be free, your passive income needs to be at least double that of your lifestyle cost. If you're looking to actively earn your freedom by working, in order to be free, your active income needs to be at least 5 times the lifestyle cost. If being who you are costs $50,000 a year, you need to bring in at least $250,000 to be free. Why? Because out of that $250,000, $50,000 will go toward expenses and the remaining 80% needs to go toward buying yourself that freedom through investments. If you're poor right now, here's your to-do list. 1. Learn new skills that immediately improve your market value. 2. Start by building a system that does not rely on you earning money on the side. 3. When the new money starts coming in, switch to the side project full-time. 4. Reinvest everything in that business while also living below your means. And 5. When the real money comes in, move it to alternate investments. This is the most truthful approach you'll ever get to this issue. You're welcome, Aluxers. Number 9. $1 million per year isn't a lot of money. You can almost hear all the butts clenching around the word as we mentioned it. We all grew up with this idea of a millionaire, that $1 million was enough to set you up for life, because it used to be true back in the 60s. Maybe it still feels true if you live in a poorer part of the world and right now believe you don't need that much. The paradox is that only those who are earning in excess of $1 million per year realize it's just a decent earning. Money is getting devalued every single year. Let us put this into perspective for you with the US as the main example. As of the beginning of 2020, there were $1.75 trillion worth of notes in circulation. That's actual money bills out there in the marketplace. Scared that the economy would tank because of the coronavirus, the Fed decided to print another $2.3 trillion out of thin air and simply give it to the people and businesses to avoid a financial collapse. Value comes from scarcity. The more something is found in the marketplace, the less valuable it is. Congratulations, every dollar you have is worth less than half of what it used to be. This devaluation of currency is called inflation. Every year the government prints new money and the stash you have in your Nike shoebox is worth less and less. $1 million per year in 2020 is roughly the equivalent of $250,000 just over 30 years ago, not just because of inflation, but also buying power. Real estate is a great barometer of this. Poor people fall victim to this system. They don't understand that keeping money in cash is actually costing them money. The rich leverage their understanding of the market and park their money in assets called store of value. real estate, gold, art, luxury goods, and more recently, crypto. Here's why $1 million per year isn't that much money to begin with. The average person will work approximately 40 years, right? Between the ages of 25 to 65. If you made $1 million per year every year of your working life, completely ignoring inflation and didn't spend a penny, you still wouldn't have enough money to purchase this Rothko painting that sold for $46 million, or this one by Newman that sold for $43.8. Imagine working your entire life for $1 million a year and still unable to buy a piece of canvas with 2 colors on it. Yet these types of paintings sell every single year. Number 10. A wall gets built brick by brick, the same as wealth. Poor people always have this idea of striking it rich. Through unpredictable means, luck would come their way and bless them with financial riches. The rich never buy lottery tickets. It's actually one of the reasons they became rich in the first place. It's because they understand how wealth is built, and you can't just leave this to chance. Pay close attention to how most poor people act with money. Notice their choices. Notice their thinking. They have no problem spending $10, $50, $100 on random, unnecessary things, but scoff at the idea of earning $10, $50, or $100. That's too little money for them, but when they have it, they quickly throw it away on vices or things they don't need. But Lux, you need a lot of money to build passive income, and we don't have that kind of money. This is why we decided to make this video. The average person doesn't understand that you can build passive income with as little as $10 to $50, and this has always been possible. You're just not educated enough to see it. Let us take you to school on this. The simplest and cheapest way to create passive income is through investing in dividend-paying companies. Write this down in your notebook. How do you do that? You use any investment platform, Robinhood, Revolut, eToro, etc., and purchase companies that are paying dividends. Every quarter, these companies split up the profit between the shareholders. Here are 3 dividend-paying stocks super accessible to beginners. Toronto Dominion Bank, 3.6%. Realty Income, 4.9%. Walmart, 2.5%. You start off small. Move some of the money into dividend-paying companies that you know and trust. This way, your wealth grows. You'll store value, but when these companies make money, you get paid as well. Building a wall requires you to put in 1 brick at a time. So does building wealth. If you want to escape this situation you're in, you need to not only be more educated about the tools you have at your disposal, and we'll touch on that in number 12, but also begin to act on the information you're learning. Stop waiting for someone else to make you rich. That stimulus check, if you even got one at all, won't stretch very far, we promise. There are 3 fundamental books to read if you want to educate yourself on wealth building. 1. Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. In our opinion, the best beginner book on using little money and stocks to build wealth. 2. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. The best book on the fundamentals of cash flow and passive income. And 3. The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. The counter to the previous 2 books mentioned and what it takes to build a multi-million-dollar company. These are mandatory reading for everyone watching this video. These cover the basics. Without them, you're gonna have a hard time with money. Stop thinking that books are expensive because currently your life is cheap. Your life is cheap because you think investing in yourself is expensive. But let's say you're truly struggling and can't afford $20 for a book. Just go to alux.com/freebook right now and sign up. Our friends at Audible are giving our community 1 free audiobook, and if this is your first time signing up, you're in luck. Pick any one of these 3 books and listen to it on repeat until you get every ounce of value out of it. Pause the video and go to alux.com/freebook right now. The more educated you are, the more you're able to understand what's happening all around you. Number 11. Never borrow money that doesn't go toward making more money. What are you doing buying a TV on credit? Why are you ready to go into installment payments on the new PlayStation? Why are you borrowing money to buy a dress or a handbag? Just stop! We know many people lack access to funding in case of emergencies, which is why they're taken advantage of by predatory loan shark-like institutions. Believe it or not, these people borrow money from payday loan companies without understanding the contracts they're signing. They're paying 70 to 250% yearly interest on the money they're borrowing for stupid. This happens all around the world. The UK has the same problem as the US and the rest of the world for that matter. Here's an actual example. Money Shop, one of the biggest payday loan lenders in the UK, charges £30 to borrow £100 for a month. The second biggest player, Wonga, charges £37.15 to borrow £100 for a month. And if you don't pay it back in a month, the penalties and interest on the penalties start to apply and they add up fast. You'd think that one has to be stupid or desperate to borrow money from these people, especially if it doesn't go toward making more money. But millions of Americans borrow money to go to college and choose majors without any prospects in the market for their future careers. Your major in philosophy or gender studies has no market value, yet you now owe over $100,000 for the experience of finding out this for yourself. This is why OnlyFans is so popular. These girls have debts to pay. Borrowing money can either make you rich or a slave to some creepy old guy who now basically owns you for life. The problem is, poor people cannot differentiate between the two, which is why every time we call them out on borrowing money to join pyramid schemes shaped like multi-level marketing, they get so obfuscated. Go to the comments right now and see the butthurt MLM people defending their investment as legitimate. As a golden money rule in life, the moment you're giving your money to someone else, you're making that person richer and making yourself poorer. Pay close attention to who you're making rich. Number 12. You earn in proportion to your ability to use the tools you have at your disposal. We're so accustomed to having all this stuff around us that we forget some of these are tools, and tools are meant to be used to generate value for your existence. Back in the very beginning, all you had was your body, so you could carry stones with your muscle, use your eyes to look for snakes in the grass or for red fruits. There are people to this day that the only tool they use is their body. In many parts of the world, people still carry things by hand, for example. We are jumping closer to the present, and now you even have tractors to carry even heavier stuff, with people no longer having to rely on their physical strength to get the job done. All you need to do is to learn how to operate the machinery, and you're immediately more valuable than the person who carries the stuff by hand. Keep this idea in mind as we progress through this point. People no longer understand the purpose of tools. Why do you have a $1,000 plus iPhone to only scroll Instagram? If that's the only thing you use your iPhone for, you just paid $900 more than you should have. YouTube is a tool. You can either learn new skills from it or waste 3 hours of your life watching TikTok compilations. Tools are multipliers, and the amazing thing is, they stack up onto each other. Yet most of you don't see that. Poor people purchase things for status, while the rich purchase them for purpose. This is why most of the poor think the rich are greedy. Man, if I had that kind of money, I would buy 3 Ferraris in different colors, while the rich shake their heads in disbelief. Entertainment is free or cheap. Don't waste money you don't need to. Instead, look around you at the things you own. Some of them are tools and can be monetized. The device you're listening to this on can make you money if you use it right. Learn to monetize the things you already have. Number 13. Keeping money is harder than making money. Most poor people think that making money is hard, but almost all of them have made money in the past and will be making money in the future. The hard part is keeping the money, not making it. Making money is no secret. You get a job or sell a product or service. That's basically your only 2 options. But very few people know how to keep it and grow it once they have it. How many of you are spending money you don't have? How far behind the line are you where you're doing the math in your head and hope the people you borrowed from will just forget about it? That's why your life is the way it is. You cannot control your spending habit. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a Skype call with antivirus multimillionaire John McAfee, who, despite earning in excess of $100 million from the sale of his antivirus software to Intel, has managed to lose almost all of it, including his freedom in the process. Maybe we'll actually release the talk sometime in the future on our channel. His stance was that making money is one of the easiest things in the world, but not losing it is actually very difficult if you don't know what you're doing, and it's true. Just look at what the average person has of value at the end of their lives. At 80 years old, you're lucky if you own a house, a rusty car, and if you're Eastern European, a porcelain animal and doily collection, and not much else. The average person manages to store less than 10% of the value they generate in their lifetimes. The rest is simply consumed. Number 14. Business people hire good professionals to make them rich. This is a fundamental difference between two types of mindset. Poor people are looking for security, while rich people are looking to build wealth. The golden rule when it comes to security is being hard to replace. The harder you are to replace, the more you're worth to the marketplace. Specialize and your salary will always be high. The rich, on the other hand, do not think the same way. The rich don't think in terms of salary, they think in terms of profit. How much is there left to take home after you pay all the professionals their salaries? The more you think about it, the more things should begin to click in your mind. A salary buys food on the table, and depending on how good you are at your job, even other necessities. But profit buys you freedom. This is also why A students end up working for B and C students. A students are very good at following orders. They've been following everything the teacher told them to do. But if you really think about it, teachers aren't as successful as they led you on to believe. Almost anywhere in the world, a mechanic out-earns a teacher. They never told you this, yet you studied hard because they told you that's what success is all about. In the meantime, B and C students learn to play the actual game and build the companies where A students dream to work at. You want to know a secret about the education industry? Only 25% of the money that you pay in tuition goes toward the teachers. The rest of the money goes to the chairmen of the boards and the trust funds who own the biggest universities in the country. Although universities are listed as non-profits, they get to pay whatever salaries they want to their board. Daniel Cummings, the managing director of real estate at Harvard, is paid over $10 million a year. All the guys at the top earn over $5 million a year in salaries from the university, and they don't teach a single class. Now you know. Number 15. You need at least 3 income streams to feel safe. For most people, when they hear the term 3 streams of income, they're thinking 3 jobs. Why? Because for the majority of the population, the only stream of income they're aware of is the job they're working. In order to not be shaken by the fluctuations in the market, everyone should have at least 3 streams of income. We've been slowly adding them one by one for years. Let's take Alux Inc. as a company, for example. We earn money from 1. The revenue from the ads you're seeing on this video. 2. The revenue from strategic sponsors like Amazon, NordVPN, Shopify, Audible, and more. 3. The revenue from our digital courses. 4. The revenue from our merch line, although that one's kinda small, but it still brings in some money. 5. Royalties from licensing agreements on the distribution of our content to other markets. 6. Direct original video partnerships with brands. And 7. We're looking to release our first book soon. That's going to be another stream of income. On a personal level, we're earning money from multiple streams as well. 1. Salaries for our work at Alux. 2. Dividends from Alux Inc. 3. Rental income from our properties. 4. Dividends from other tech companies we're invested in that are profitable. And 5. The growth of our stock and index fund portfolio, and more. But why is this all so important? Because if one of them were to fail, we would have other things to fall back on and mitigate the damage. That's why we're building an audience on Instagram at Alux, and we're looking to revamp the website. If YouTube went away overnight, it would be a big hit to us, but we would survive off of everything else. We're safe, and so should you be. Your goal for the next 5 years is to add another stream of income that's not dependent on you. The moment you learn how to do this, life gets super exciting. Which raises the question, which of these ideas clicked with you the most? One of them can definitely set up an idea domino effect in your mind. And when you guys share your takeaways in the comments, it helps us to see what kind of information is actually valuable to you, so we can focus on that stuff more. And for those of you still watching, we have an additional golden nugget just for you. Your bonus. Tracking shows you the way. We cannot highlight this enough. You cannot improve what you don't measure. And we're not talking about budgeting every single penny and every second of every day in your life, but you need to keep track of the things you want to improve in life. You want to lose weight? You need to track your food intake and weight fluctuations. You want to make more money? Write down how much money you made this month and how much went out. You want to stop wasting money? Write down how much money you spend every day. The moment you put it in writing, you're able to tell if what you're doing changes anything. Most people just wing it, allowing things to just be, with the exception of all of it getting better on its own. But here's the truth. Your life doesn't get better unless you get better. Eat better, learn more, earn more, stop wasting so much time. As a business owner, you need to not only track the performance of the company as a whole, but that of your employees, of the quality of the product you're putting out, and constantly trying to improve it. You can't do any of this unless you at least periodically track. If your life isn't better this month than it was the previous month, you're going the wrong way. Making money is a numbers game, and in the words of Jay-Z, numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard. It shows who's actually winning. If you've made it this far, it means you're a true A-Luxer. Please use the word money in the answer to today's question. That way we can spot all of you in the crowd. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, alux.com. Thank you for being an A-Luxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.